Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Kiddie Korner Media. And today we're taking on a slightly serious or more serious topic. They've all been serious. And today we're talking about choosing body autonomy and teaching kids that it's okay to say no when someone's coming into their physical space and trying to touch them, even if it's something as simple as a hug, and they feel uncomfortable. So, I picked the book I Choose to Say No by Elizabeth Estrada, and it's part of a series called I Choose, and each one deals with a different topic. This one today deals with our narrator, which is this young girl, and she's explaining why she says no if she feels uncomfortable to hug or touch someone. Her parents have taught her that the body belongs to her, and she's allowed to say no to those that she does not feel comfortable with. And that's a big thing. Often we've been taught to be more polite than to be comfortable, especially for young ones and ladies and other people. We're taught to be polite before we're taught to have our own autonomy, mainly because we don't want to seem rude. We don't want to go out there and make people uncomfortable or make ourselves uncomfortable or create a tense situation. However, we also need to have our own autonomy. We need to have say over what and who is allowed near us. And this little girl talks about it. Sometimes people want hugs and she's just not comfortable. And her parents back her up and they teach her, and this is the key part, they teach her how to say no in a polite manner. This builds trust, okay? I know all of us don't want to go through weird arguments and tensions when maybe a distant relative really wants to have big hugs and cuddles with our kids, and our kids don't feel comfortable with it. We don't want to cause issues, but we also want to build that trust in our kids. We want them to know that no matter what, we back them up when it comes to the really important parts. Now, in this story, parents give her strategies like, oh, no, thank you, but can we have a fist bump or a high five, a handshake? You can give an alternative. Or you can, just wave and say you're not feeling up to it. It's the truth if you're not feeling up to a hug. But by reinforcing that they have the right to say no to physical touch, it reinforces the trust that they have in you. They even talk about a circle of trust for her. She sits down with her parents and they talk about the adults and the kids that they do trust. And she creates her own little circle of trust. And she also knows that those are the people who will back her up. If she's now in a completely different situation out in public and someone is bothering her and wanting to, interact with her and touch her and things like that, and she's not comfortable, she knows who she can go to get help. She knows who she can trust and who she can't. Not until they've earned it. And I think that's one of the good things about this. This story tells not just that you can do this. There's a polite way to make your choice to say no. And there is also firm lines, boundaries, but there's also people you can trust, people you can go to. And they even talk about how she physically feels when she gets uncomfortable, so kids can recognize those signs as well. There are other times I don't feel safe, when my circle of trust are not near, when someone is touching me and I suddenly feel fear. So what I also like is they use rhyming, which can ease the tension of this hard subject. Kids love rhyming books. I'm aware of any early warning signs and how to look for danger. I'm especially cautious if I'm ever talked to or touched by a stranger. My early warning signs are when my heart beats fast or my breathing slows down. Sometimes my early warning signs means my head gets dizzy and spins round and round. From there, she knows to say clearly yes or no, or go to who you can trust for help. Now, just to let you know, especially I don't want people to get caught off guard, at one point she does say I can use the right words for my body parts. And she says the words for male and female genitalia. We don't want kids to stigmatize that either. We don't want ourselves to stigmatize that, and it happens. It's sometimes uncomfortable to say those words. But if kids know you've got their back and you can build that trust with them, that you can always go to them, it's a good thing. Just like patience, trust takes exercise and building. They need to know that you have them and you'll support them if they need you. And I'm sure most of you want to do that. What is also nice is at the end, there's these 2 pages at the end where again they reinforce, if I can get the page, the early warning signs of how your body might feel when you are suddenly in an uncomfortable situation or with a stranger. But also here, you can sit down with your kids and talk about the people who are in your circle of trust. Talk together. Make this an activity together. Build not just the trust between them and yourself, but with other adults and other people that they know who will always take care of them. It's a hard subject, and I understand that, but it's an important one. So, take the time, check out the book if you can. That's I Choose to Say No by Elizabeth Estrada. And, prepare your kids for the world out there while still finding good, safe ways to introduce those tough subjects. Unfortunately, the kids face a lot these days. So, whenever we can find a way to talk about the heavy stuff in a safe manner, let's use it. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Pass on that positivity. Bye.